Hey guys, it's Megan, and in today's video, I'll be showing you 5 Halloween-themed drawing ideas. These prompts would be great for anyone doing Inktober, or just as a fun way to get into the Halloween spirit. I actually don't have a whole lot to say today. All the supplies will be linked down below, and let's just get into it. Okay, so idea number 1 is to draw a person with a pumpkin as their head. I've seen people do this for like photo shoots, and oh my gosh, as cool as this looks, like I could not do it. It's like you go through all the trouble of scooping out all the pumpkin guts, which if somehow you've never done that before, that is an experience in and of itself. You get through all that sliminess, and then you're telling me that you're gonna put your head in there. Like, I don't think so. I don't know, like these people, they just must not be claustrophobic, that's all I gotta say. Like I said, it looks so cool. If you can do this, like, I'm jealous, but I could never. What if you got stuck? Like, what would you do? I ain't letting nobody near my face with a knife, that's for sure. And most of these photo shoots are outside. And I'm sorry, but if I got one of those freaking spotted lantern flies in there with me, I would not make it. I don't know if any of you live in like the tri-state area, but like these things are everywhere. Wasn't the pumpkin head thing like a meme or something? Okay, so I just looked it up. Apparently it was from a YouTube video of some guy on the news in 2006, which that is crazy. Like, comment down below, when did you start watching YouTube? Like, what was your first YouTuber that you remember watching? Because I'm pretty sure like the first actual YouTuber that I watched was Fred. You know what? The guy that played Fred, Lucas, I actually still watch his channel. I love him. I swear in these videos, I always talk about the most random things, but the thing is, like, I follow the same exact coloring process pretty much every single time. Like, no one wants to hear me say I outlined my drawing with a hoo-hoo, fine liners, colored it with a hoo-hoo brush markers, then filled in the background with some acrylic paint every 5 seconds, which is what I did for this drawing. Like I said, links are in the description. I didn't really use a reference for this. I mean, I did, but I combined like 10 of them. And I guess that's kind of what you're supposed to do, isn't it? I had a lot of fun with this dress. I drew a bunch of roses all over the bottom and it just kind of like made it all fancy. The background, I don't really know how I feel about it. As usual, I was just kind of winging it, but honestly, I think it ended up being a little bit too much. That's the thing about me. Like, I always get so focused on these little details that I'll forget the big picture. And come to think of it, that seems to be a running problem in my life. But anyways, here's how the finished page turned out. Even though the background might have been a bit much, I still had a lot of fun with this page. The second idea is to draw yourself as a vampire. You could also do a zombie or a witch, but I already did those in other videos. Okay, so I recently decided that I need to get some new clothes, and in my quest for a new wardrobe, I keep learning about all these different aesthetics. I feel like there used to just be like the Visco girl one, but now there's like a million of them. And there's literally one called Twilight Core, which is actually so funny to me because this is literally just how I dressed in 8th grade, except now they wear flared jeans. I definitely said this before, but I used to work at a movie theater, and the number one comment that I would get from people was always, "Oh my god, you look like Bella from Twilight." Personally, I think I just have a little bit of a, resting B-word face. I don't know if you can say that word on YouTube, but that's neither here nor there. But I decided to rewatch Twilight the other day because it was on one of like the streaming services, and you know what? The more I think about it, so that night at like 3 a.m. I decided to look up a Twilight makeup tutorial. What do we think? Do I look like freaking Bella from Twilight? Comment down below, I guess. I'm sure I'll get roasted. Also, I didn't do anything to my hair. This is just how I wake up and it looks like this. I don't think I actually look like Kristen Stewart. I think I just look dead inside. Anyways, for the drawing, I based the outfit off of a vampire Halloween costume that I wore one year. I wanted to give her skin sort of a blue tint to it, so I lightly went over it with a blue colored pencil. And the reason that she's holding an owl is honestly just because like the reference photo that I used, the girl was also holding an owl. But like, I was alive in 2012. I still have quite a few owls. What should we name him? Comment down below. I did the lace detailing on her dress with a blue Posca pen. And for the background, I tried to do this sort of like gradient night sky type deal. I started with a dark blue at the top, and I worked my way to a light blue at the bottom. I painted a white circle and dabbed on a bit of blue paint with my finger to create the moon in the upper right. Then I dipped a small paintbrush into some more white paint to create stars all over the sky. And once everything dried, here's how the finished page turned out. I kind of messed up the shadows on the face, like that definitely could have been better, but I sort of like how I did the background, and I kind of like the dress too. Idea number 3 is to design a spell book. Now, what made me think of this idea was the fact that apparently they made a second Hocus Pocus movie. I'm recording this voiceover on September 30th, so it came out today on Disney+. Okay, so either I'm like out of the loop or they just don't advertise movies like they used to. I think it's a little bit of both because I had no idea that this was even a thing until last week. I was talking to somebody the other day and he was like, so have you done anything fun lately? And you know, being me, I was like, no, like I literally have no friends. Okay, like I have friends, it's just that we're all busy and tired and like no one ever wants to do anything, so like pretty much I don't have friends. But anyways, he was telling me how he'll just like go to the movies by himself and he's just like, you should do that. And I was like, you know what? I should do that because that is one of the few things that you can do by yourself that's not like really awkward. So I went to see what movies were playing and there was literally nothing. They're just putting everything directly onto streaming services now, which like that's nice, but there goes that idea. Anywho, I actually had a lot of fun with this drawing. For the cover of the book, I drew a gray cat with a witch hat and wrote the word spells on top. I wanted to make it look like the book was sitting on a table. So I drew some pencils, a key, and a candle to fill up some of the white space. I actually just used markers for this one. I didn't use any paint or anything. I colored the background brown, added shadows to the objects with a darker brown, then used a third shade of brown to create a wood grain pattern and darken some of those shadows. And here's how the finished page turned out. I think that this one was actually my favorite from this whole video. Originally, I was going to cut the page so that the book could open, but I think I like it just how it is. Idea number 4 is to draw a haunted house. I think I talked about this in my last Halloween sketchbook video, but when I was in Girl Scouts, we used to do this thing where we essentially got to like work at a haunted house, and it was so much fun. We got to like decorate the rooms and make costumes and stuff. There was always lots of fake blood involved, 10 out of 10. What was the point of that story? I don't know. Like working in a haunted house? Very fun. You can make this as simple or as complicated as you want. I didn't get too crazy with it. I mean, this page is only so big, but I still managed to fit quite a bit of detail in there. Full disclosure, this was loosely based off of a drawing by Draw So Cute, but I did change pretty much like everything about it except for the shape of the house. I don't usually draw a ton of buildings, so it was fun to do something different like this. Again, as usual, I colored the whole page with my Ohuhu brush markers. I was a little bit indecisive about what color that I wanted the house to be at first, but eventually I settled on making it purple with some black detailing on the roof and on the steps, and I ended up giving it a red door. The insides of the windows are yellow. It's supposed to look like the lights are on, but I don't really know how well that came across. I thought that it might look cool to have silhouettes of different things in the windows. So I went back in with my fine liners and drew some Halloween themed objects. I drew an owl, a chandelier, some pumpkins, this random banner. That's not really Halloween themed, I just couldn't think of anything else. A cat, a skull, a cauldron, and a mouse. If you want to get really fancy with it, you can use an X-Acto knife to cut open the doors or windows on your house. I just did the door this time. I just flipped my sketchbook open and put a cutting mat behind it to protect my work surface. I found a scrap piece of paper, added some double-sided tape to the edges, then stuck that behind the door. And now you can draw whatever you want on the inside. I ended up drawing this little chibi-style Wednesday Addams. I'm pretty sure I draw her almost every year, so I had to stick her in this video somewhere. I also added some ghosts behind her to fill up the space, and colored the background yellow to match the windows. You know, it sort of looks like she set the house on fire, but I feel like for Wednesday Addams, that's kind of on brand. Anyways, here's how the finished page turned out. I think this one is so cute, and as we know, I'm always a sucker for interactive elements like this. Let me know in the comments, do you have a favorite Halloween movie? The last idea is to make one of these handprint skeletons. I know I got this idea from Tik Tok, but I don't remember who it was from, because I was originally going to do this back in March, but for some reason I just didn't. But anyways, for this one, the first thing you're going to want to do is paint your hand and press it down on the page. I painted my hand black, but of course you can do any color that you want. You might notice that this handprint is a little bit different from the handprint in the next clip. Like I said, I did this originally back in March and I could not find the clip, so that's that on that. Full disclosure, this skeleton is definitely not anatomically correct. But what I did for this was I looked up a couple pictures of skeleton hands, then used my handprint as a guide to figure out where to draw the bones. I used a black fine liner to draw the bones where there was white space, and a white gel pen to draw on top of the paint. This was definitely one of those things that looks more complicated than it actually is. For real, when I started this, I was like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? But I think that having the handprint to use as a guide helps a lot. My family doesn't really decorate that much for Halloween, but my mom, she has one of those big plastic skeletons that she got from Target that's been sitting in our living room for like a couple of years. She does put a Santa hat on him for Christmas, but like, he's just chilling there. There's really not a whole lot to say about this one, but I think that it looks so cool. Like, I would actually use this as wall art or something. And here's how the finished page turned out. So that was everything for this video. Make sure to let me know which drawing was your favorite. I think my favorite was either the skeleton hand or the spell book. But you know what? Like, I genuinely like them all, and let's be real, I cannot always say that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. My merch, my website, and all of my social media will be linked down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys later. Bye!